There's no shortage of fascinating animal facts floating around the internet. And given that there are thousands upon thousands of bizarre, strange, unique, and amazing animal species all over the world, it stands to reason that there would be a plethora of unforeseen and unexpected information about them. Planet Earth is huge and diversified, and the organisms that comprise Mother Nature's total population are, in turn, more diverse than you could ever imagine. So in this list, we'll look at some of those facts. You might think these tidbits are made up as you go through them, but they aren't. These are 5 completely true animal facts that you probably never heard before. But by the end of this list, you'll be a lot smarter for having learned these completely odd and really cool bits of biological facts. The word Microraptor means small thief in Greek, and it's the ideal moniker for the world's smallest dinosaur. We've all heard of velociraptors, thanks Jurassic Park, and many other dinosaurs have become household names as well. However, millions of years ago, there was a tiny feathered dinosaur with wings on all 4 of its limbs known as the Microraptor. The 4 wings were plainly unusual, given that most flying dinosaurs and birds only have 2. The Microraptor, on the other hand, could fly around fast and fiercely while hunting its tiny prey and living its tiny existence thanks to its 4 wings. We kept saying tiny since these objects were so small. When standing up straight, the average Microraptor weighed approximately 2 pounds, 0.9 kilograms, and was only about a foot, 30.5 centimeters, tall. It was also smaller than 30 inches, 76 centimeters, long from head to tail. With those dimensions, it is around the size of a modern-day crow, and it is still the smallest known dinosaur in history, millions of years after it lived. And absent a huge archaeological find, the Microraptor will most certainly hold that minuscule distinction for the rest of history. Rabbits can't burp or vomit. Rabbits, unlike humans and many other animals, are biologically incapable of vomiting. They can't throw up or retch at all, and they never will, except in rare situations just before death. This is due to rabbits' one-way digestive system. Whatever they chew and swallow has to find its way through the rabbit's intestines and insides until it comes out the other end. If food or anything else enters the mouth incorrectly, the system simply cannot force it back out. While that is an odd truth, it is also a potentially dangerous one for rabbits maintained as pets, because they are unable to vomit harmful substances. Anything they consume remains inside them until the point of death. Whereas dogs, cats, and other animals can retch up items that aren't good for them, rabbits simply have to deal with it. As a result, individuals frequently experience digestive issues. In the worst-case scenario, these become stomach and intestinal obstructions, which can result in torturous death. Furthermore, without the capacity to burp, unpleasant gases can accumulate in rabbits' stomachs and cause long-term health problems. All of this implies that rabbits are unusually vulnerable to being poisoned by a number of substances they may encounter on the ground because their little bodies can't expel the materials as most other animals can. Yikes. Peacocks aren't peacocks. If you've ever visited a zoo in North America, you're probably familiar with peacocks. These brightly colored birds have large, broad tails that extend out as they travel. They are typically harmless as well, and they avoid humans. So in places like zoos, they are often permitted to walk freely, pick up little tidbits and treats that other animals, well, children, leave lying around and exist as quasi-wild zoo residents with pretty much complete control of the place. But what if we told you that you've been referring to them incorrectly your entire life? The term peacock is widely used to describe these colorful birds. However, this is not an exhaustive list. These aviary animals are known as peafowl. The males of the species are called peacocks, while the females are called peahens. Baby peafowl are referred to as peachicks. Of course, it's a little distinction, but it's crucial for the poor peahens and peachicks, who have all but been forgotten in mainstream peafowl culture. An extra paw pad. Humans have 5 fingers and 5 toes, at least most of us do. And while that is the normal number of digits for humans, cats have a radically different experience. Cats have an additional pad on each of their front paws, which is completely natural and expected. See, a cat's legs must perform far more labor collectively than human legs. Their front legs serve as a means of balance as they traverse difficult and perilous terrain or the arm of the couch. Whatever. The back legs of a cat are also huge in comparison. This is due to the fact that their back legs are employed for jumping and pushing off to sprint. As a result, they must be strong, resilient, and extremely lengthy. Cat paws are fascinating in and of themselves, aside from the leg peculiarities. If you examine a cat's paws closely, you'll discover 5 basic pads on each rear leg. When you shift your gaze to the 2 front legs, you'll notice the same 5, plus a 6th. If you look closely, every cat's front paws have a sixth pad hidden behind the rest. This extra cushion, commonly referred to as a carpal pad, is crucial. While the cat's back legs are designed for explosive movements, the carpal pad allows cats to slow down when they need to. It is used to provide greater traction when jogging, climbing, jumping off a high spot, or descending a steep slope. Consider it an additional shock absorber integrated into the front of your kitty. Unique noses. No two dog or cat noses are identical. Dogs and cats, like humans, have completely distinct noses with patterns of ridges and wrinkles that are unlike any other canine in the world. If we ever needed to, we could develop a database of dog and cat noses similar to the one we have for human fingerprints. Then, after verifying for nose prints with a forensic investigator, we could file away every dog and cat nose within that database, note the particular specifics of its ridges, and figure out which dog sniffed which thing. Of course, we're joking, but the reality remains that every dog and cat has a distinct nose that might be used to identify them if necessary. Simply follow the ridges, bumps, wrinkles, and crevices to solve the puzzle. By the way, a dog's nostrils have their own term as well, nares. That wasn't a word we knew before learning about nose prints, but now that we've read it, we thought it'd be wonderful to share it with you.